Hey, Tej here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for SAND. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. So the main idea here on higher time frame, on daily time frame, is the bullish scenario in which we've had this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good looking 5-way structure here on higher time frame, and then again this would be a cycle wave 1. After that point we would be looking for a wave 2 of that same cycle. We can be looking at around some kind of fib time here, and 1-to-1 would be around March 2023. Now at this point this is still quite far away, and the overall idea that I have for crypto and the US indices is that we are creating some kind of 3-way structure combination correction, of which the first structure is already complete, and now we would be looking for this kind of structure here to give it some kind of connector leg, to create a connector here in the middle to connect this first leg over to something else below it. And that is still my main idea on higher time frame, basically on every single asset that has any kind of a relationship between each other. Again, crypto is a risk asset, and most likely the drops on crypto is going to be way more volatile than anything like US indices. But of course, they are somewhat similar in the patterns that they are creating. So I'm starting this again on logarithmic scale, and the idea that I presented before, let's go back to 4-hour time frame here, would be that we have created this as a 3-way structure here into W, 3 ways into X, and then ABC here into wave C of that wave Y, completing that whole structure here like so. Of course, on logarithmic scale it is looking a bit skewed. If we are changing that back to the arithmetic scale, we can definitely see that there is some validity into this count, and it has pretty good proportions as well. Sure, this C wave here is quite large in comparison, but it doesn't even get to the 1.618, right? Yeah, just right into the 1.382, which is again still some of the main targets that we have for any zigzag pattern here. So I've labeled this as a potential wave 2 here, but again on higher time frame, as I just mentioned, I don't think that is that likely. Again, of course, we can already see that since the last video we have already taken out the lows, so that is no longer a possibility. Let me find that wave 2 where I did place it, right here. So I'll just place it over here for now. So yeah, that is the overall idea. A 3-way structure here that is completed, and now we would be in some kind of connector wave structure, looking for some kind of a pivot upwards, and then we would be looking for downwards again. Now let's take a look at some of the targets here on higher time frame where we could be expecting some kind of another possibility for shorts. And again, on crypto, I do like the 38.2% retracement of the original move here. On logarithmic scale, it's around $1.88. On arithmetic scale, we are so far off of that, around $3.70. That would have to rally like 400% almost. So I feel like it is more realistic to have this as some of the targets that we might be looking for. Of course, keeping in mind that this might not even happen. But these are again the targets we would be looking for this connector wave structure, right? Now let's dive into the current structure that we are on here, and let's still keep on. Let's go back to 8-hour time frame and take a look at RSI before we are jumping into the count itself. So in here again, RSI cycles is a thing, definitely worth looking into if you haven't, and somehow some kind of a validation, of course, against the counts you're using on Elliott Wave. This is a great tool to look for divergences, of course, on the places where you're looking for them and expecting them. Otherwise, there's just going to be, of course, so many different divergences. So I wouldn't just be looking at RSI for all the divergence that it is printing. I'm only looking at the divergence that I'm expecting to see and having confluence to the count. For example, we are starting from this high here. We see a three-way move. On price, we see this move and a low here. Divergence here at the lows, giving us the potential of having a third and a fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on RSI, this looks perfect as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Divergence at the lows. So that is something to keep in mind. This is basically happening on every 5-way moves. That is something that you definitely need to be looking into if you haven't. Now, since the lows that we had, we can be looking at a cycle upwards, and just basically looking at only the RSI here, we would be looking at, okay, that ended here. On my count, I do feel like this is a bit better, in which we could be labeling this as a three-way structure like this. But of course, it could be that we ended up in here also. There's no invalidation. We can have this as something like this as well. However, the extension here in time would be a bit different than I would look for. So if we would be just looking at RSI, we would be looking at this as a one-way move. That's a three-way move here, and then another three ways like so, and then possible downwards movement. So either we are creating something like that in RSI, and looking at the price, we can't again really end anything here, to be honest, because again, there's no retracements upward, unless we want to be creating some kind of counter that looks like this, and it just doesn't have the right look, right? So that's why we're not only following RSI, but also just looking at the price and giving the RSI some confluence when we are needing it, and using it that way. Now, what is interesting here on 8 hour, we have had a new low here. On daily, we did not have that. So this is somewhat significant. I feel like we could be looking at this as a end of some kind of cycle here. Again, 3, 3, and 3. And now we would be looking for higher prices. Definitely want to be looking at the highs here on RSI, giving us confidence that once we break them, I would be expecting more higher prices here on as well in the price section itself. But comparing this to some of the counts that I showed you last time, was that we had this as an ABC into a possible W wave, then ABC here. Again, it does not really have the right look. The issue is that the C wave is so large. And second issue is that I don't think that wave C is even over yet. I do think that we are looking for one more low here, just based on the RSI. Again, if we are looking for 5-way moves, what we are looking for is a divergence between the third and fifth, even on diagonals here. And if we are placing the trend lines like so that we have, this looks more like a channel than anything else. So even though we can clearly place a 5-way move here into the possible wave 1, 2, is definitely hard to get a 5-way move off of here as well. So we'll see how this turns out. There's definitely not a good looking structure here finished as of yet, so I'm not really confident on saying anything about this being finished. If we are taking out these highs of around $1.02, then I do feel like this structure, whatever it is finished. I just don't know how to label that at the moment. Let's actually check out this retracement here, and we can see that price has already gone below the 1.618 retracement, which means again that this no longer can be a B wave. So we can't move the wave 4 onwards here. Of course, it wouldn't have the right look either, because again, we are comparing this wave 2 here to this wave 4 here, and it would, if it would be this size, it wouldn't just make any sense. So I do think that wave 4 is here, and we're just getting some kind of very extended, weird looking wave 5 here that just hasn't completed or revealed the count at least yet. So that was one of them. And the second option is that we had this as that 3-way structure upwards, like we had in the RSI cycle here, then 3 ways into X, and then another 3-way structure into A wave, and then we would be starting to drop off downwards. And in here again, we would have divergences going downwards while we are creating lower lows here on price and higher lows on RSI, creating them divergences on until this whole section of counts is done here, and then potential three-way structure in here. It is possible that instead of wave B ending at these lows, we could be having it doing something like this as an A, B, and C, and bring the B over here and have some kind of count starting from there. At the moment, it does look like it is a three-way structure, so we would be expecting a diagonal here in any case, starting the count from here or from here, just because the three-way structure or three-way nature of the count we have here at this moment. So neither of these counts that I'm showing you has a end as of yet. But again, if we are looking at smaller time frame, let's start with the 1 hour here. If we had the wave B in here, we would shift all of this later on, and this would most likely be some kind of a zigzag structure here coming down. Probably even something like this. Sorry, that's A, B, and then C. And then we would be looking for A, B, and C upwards. Now on the US indices and on crypto or the Bitcoin, I suggest this was a 5-way structure as well, and then we would have another 3-way structure like this. Now we have not taken out the highs here yet. We are very close to seeing that, so it is still possible that we have a 5-way structure in here, have some kind of 3-way structure here, and now we would be getting a partner leg here to get us a bit lower, and after that we would be getting a partner leg downwards, upwards like this. And again, that would be creating us that 3 waves, 3 waves. So this would be a wave wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And inside here we would be expecting something like this. But yeah, that is the expectation. Now at the moment I'm looking for this downwards pressure and looking out to take out these current lows that we have around the 74 cents before looking into possible long setups here for this last C wave. This is definitely something that I'm looking for on a lot of coins where I want to be going for long setups, looking for this possible 2 at least on this chart. Of course, other charts might be looking a bit different than this one. But yeah, that is the setup I'm next very interested in. Of course, we could be just looking for that short as well here. I'm short on Bitcoin and S&P 500, so might as well look into the some altcoins here. If we are getting some decent pullback here and a 5-way structure of these highs. At the moment, I can't really get anything here. Let's take a look. That is the high here, so that has to be the highest. That has to be the start of the whole move. RSI is giving us some signals here that might be bottoming out soon. We could even have this as a diagonal in here, and if we are getting that retracement, we could be looking for some short possibilities. Actually, let's take a look at the volume here. Again, we are in so low time frame that we don't really get anything here. There are some volume nodes here on 0.5 and some up in here. I don't think that volume is going to help us too much because again, we are too low time frame for that to happen or have an effect. But I would be setting an alert here at the 38.2 and monitor if we have had a 3-way structure like so, and then looking for some kind of pivot and going short against this high. But I feel like that is pretty much all the things I want to share on SAND at this very moment. And if you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Links to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.